Morning, everyone. Just setting things up in the background here. Thank you all for coming. Anna Mae, what do you say? What's it going to be today? Naomi stopped by to say hi. Sandy Papa, Crystal's Exciting Adventures. Minge's in the house. Woohoo! Mike K. Joe on his way to the Philippines in 7 days. Saxia Vlogs. One of the most beautiful women in the Philippines is in the house. Michelle is here. And Laurice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite, and an all-around mighty fine person. Lucas, music cover, is here. Alien Cruise officials made her entry. Laurice has been resurrected and is also in the house. Whoa. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hi, everybody. Hope you are all doing well today. Hope you're all doing fine. And I hope you're looking forward to hanging around so you could win this 100 peso bill. Yeah, I'm getting down there. I'm going to have to reload the Gcash soon. Larry Lee is here. Larry Lee, how you be? You're anything but lazy, Larry Lee, to me. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you're all doing fine. Everybody's on time. Don't be late for this very, very important date. What am I turning into, a Dr. Seuss book? Oh, my goodness gracious. I have so much fun doing this. Are you guys hearing me okay? Someone give me a thumbs up. Someone give me a thumbs up. Because I was using my external speaker to get things going this morning. I can't hear a thing. Let me unplug my external speaker for a minute. And let's see what's going on. Tim's here. Oh, wait. Nobody's speaking. The only one speaking is me. So I thought for a moment there I was going to get feedback. I was going to hear my own voice through the external speaker, but how could that possibly happen? Because if that were to happen, then I'd get feedback in the stream. So I suppose everything is fine. Hey, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about Dan's major beef for living in the Philippines. But before we get to that, I want to chat about a few other things. And please feel free to step up to the plate and come up to the panel anytime you feel froggy. You always have my permission to leap. Ribbit. Let's see, we've got the peso rate today. Yeah, the peso rate is heading north once again after weekend where we saw a slight decline. We're at 55.90. The money changers aren't really being nice. Usually the money changers will take 0.30 of that money when they exchange it, but right now they are getting a little bit greedy. And right before the weekend, for some of you expats that are coming to the Philippines or that are already here, you never want to change your money coming into the weekend. Yeah, because once you start changing coming in the weekend, they know you have no choice and you have to pay the commission, the higher commission rate. So right before Friday, you'll see them offering the forex rate. The actual exchange rate can be pretty decent, and then when you go to the money changer, they're giving you a way lesser rate than they would, let's say, if it were in the middle of the week. It's kind of like supply and demand. They know you'll be running to the exchange right before the weekend. And so Mike is saying, hey, Joe is saying he just got 200 worth of peso in preparation for the trip, which is always a good idea if you don't want to get taken advantage of at the airport exchange stand, which many of us have fallen victim to at one time or another. Well, why don't you grab your morning libation, your Dunkin' Donuts, and yeah. All right, what was I gonna talk about? Oh, this came up the other day on the stream. I know. Oh, he got it on the Weiss app. That's very, very good, because Weiss, by the way, I understand they just raised their fees. But I used to use Weiss, but they cut me up. I don't really know why. There was no explanation. I don't have time to get on the phone and spend all this time on the phone trying to figure out why all these apps have discontinued me. The only reliable ones that I found, Weiss in the beginning, I thought this was the greatest thing since sliced bread, until I got to my third transaction. They said, oh, so sorry, give us a phone call. We have run into a problem. I said, well, it's your problem, not mine. It's a problem with you not wanting to make money. So I'm finding that the most reliable is really PayPal. And then once you get over here to the Philippines, you can download Filipino PayPal and also, of course, connect those two to your GCash. So it's always a good idea to download PayPal once you obtain a Filipino phone number and then you come over to the Philippines. Yes, I just wanted to say that I got my registration all done on my cell phone, which was kind of a pain in the ass. Thank you to the gals that were working the appliances over there at Robinson's Galleria. That's where Ma'am Minnie and I are headed today in order to revisit the Denny's. Oh, let me share this with you. So the girls over there who were running one of the kiosks, there were like 4 or 5 gals. They work primarily on commission. They get a small salary, but they work primarily on commission. Well, we were walking by, and I'm sitting there playing with the stupid registration app, and it seemed so complicated to me. It could perhaps be that I'm just an older gentleman, and the mind it's not as fluid as it used to be. It's turning to mush. And the gal stopped me and said, oh, sir, we'll be happy to do that for you. I go, you what? They were like, yeah, come on over. We're going to help you with that. We've done all of ours. We're going to admit it was a mite bit challenging, but we learned how to use the app. And so we're going to help you register your phone number. And so they did. They helped. I'm going to admit it took about 45 minutes to an hour. And for Filipinos, the one thing I love about the Philippines, before I get to talking about one of the beefs that I have about living here, is basically they're the most friendly, giving, and they ask for nothing in return. It's just part of the culture. So not only did they do mine, but they did Ma'am Minnie's registration. And then we got the email confirmation back saying, you have been successfully registered. And so I don't know, I don't know. I guess that registration basically turns your phone into a tracking device. I don't know how the thing works. I figured the government already knows where I'm at because I have one of those electronic passport things. Every time I go through, one of those metal detectors, it always bleep, 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 bleep if I have my passport with me, Oh, by the way, that reminds me of another story. But first, I'll wrap up the first one. So we ended up buying the crew lunch. I mean, why not? They were so giving. They're so sweet. helping us all. I mean, they did mine and they did Man Mini's registration, and it was successful. We got the successful a few days later, and we went. Of course, we bought them lunch. They were surprised, but they were very, very appreciative also at the same time. Filipinas are very shy. Of course, there was one gal there who said that she wants me to find her a blonde, blue-eyed man. I told her, gee, you're into the whole genetics thing. Yes, I want a round-eyed baby. I go, okay, all right. Hey. I don't judge. I don't judge. I don't judge. Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever trips your trigger.
Yeah, she was pretty clear that, hey, you're okay, but you're not exactly what I'm looking for. We're looking for blonde.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, we're blonde.
No blonde hair there.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I ran into, I was talking a little bit about pre-cancer treatment the other day, and I'm just wondering.
Hey,
so I ran into something that was talking about. Oh, Jerry's in the house. Hi, Jerry. Sorry, I didn't see you coming in. Yeah. Did they give you a cream? Did the dermatologist give you some kind of cream? Larry,
Yes,
I know you have an
the
appointment.
cream.
How do you use that? How do you use the cream?
Well, you put it on the areas where you suspect it's at.
Yeah.
And you
what
continue to do that, and it'll
Yeah.
start getting red and stuff, and then you do it. And he'll tell you how long to do it.
Do you have to keep out of the sun while you're doing this treatment? Do they say it's recommended that you stay out of the sun?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You put it on twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening.
Charmaine is here, ABCM.
And but like I said, yeah, I did it in the morning. I usually waited until I got to work, did it at work, and then I did it in the evening. And it soaks in. It doesn't take too long. I got a little bit left.
Charmaine. Hey, by the way, you see Risa Centennial come into this channel every now and again. So she did a quick live stream. I'm telling you, that girl she's got energy. She's like the ever ready bunny. Now she was live streaming while she was working in a sorry store, look like. But she's going like a bat out of hell. She's like multitasking, doing 5 or 6 things all at once. And I had no idea, because she comes in the chat now and again. And now I had no idea that she lives about 30 minutes outside of Ormoc on the island of Leyte. I would say about an hour and a half to 2 hours from where Mamini and I are living in Candanum. So I have this feeling that we will end up meeting her one day. So, and it would be a pleasure, because she has so much energy. She is you can just tell that she just exudes positivity. She just glows. She glows. It comes through the camera, for crying out loud. It was so powerful that I had to take a few steps back. It's you and me. Letty Me is in the house. All right. So what was the other story I was going to tell? I don't remember now. I was going to talk a little bit about what really are, I should say, or is, or was, or is the income levels in the Philippines, because folks have been throwing around a lot of numbers, and they sounded okay to me. Angelica's here. Thanks for sharing me out, Angelica. I just saw that. Crystal's Adventure. I got curious, and I wanted to go in and get the latest information. First, do we have a middle class here in the Philippines? And I'm finding out that it's not, it's actual fact. The middle class is emerging in the Philippines, which makes a lot of sense to me, because when we were over there at Seaside. What's the name of the place? SM Seaside. I can't keep track of all these names. There's so many malls in Cebu that's hard to keep track of all the names, right? There's Robinson this, Robinson that. SM this, SM that, Ayala this, Ayala that, and after a while you just spin around like a top going, I don't even know where I'm going. Excuse me, sir, where did you say you wanted to go? Excuse me, sir. No, no, no. There's no such thing as Ayala Seaside. That's SM Seaside. Are you talking about Robinson's or are you talking about SM? I said, I'm so confused. Just take me to a mall where my head is going to explode. It's too complicated for me to keep track of. You need a list, right? Because they're all pretty spectacular. I mean, but it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat SMC side any day of the week. Ayala downtown. We were talking about this. I was talking with Reese about this. When she did a meet and greet, they went over to Cebu and they hung out at the terraces up there at Bo's Coffee Shop. Well, of course you did, because that's where everybody hangs out. They hang out on the second floor terraces of Ayala. And so if you've been over there to Cebu for any kind of a meeting or meet and greet, that's where everybody hangs out. Of course, that's also where the action is, Larry. You know what I mean? There are people coming and going 24/7. And I'm doing a video.
That's where I'll be, at Bo's Coffee.
Yeah, at Bo's Coffee on the terraces. But listen, I will be doing a video on this, I do believe. I think I have one in the can. Hey, by the way, so we were at Seaside, and that's where that short video that you made a couple comments on, Larry, the ones where Minnie is she's on the horsey.
Merry-go-round?
Yeah, the merry-go-round. I thought that for sure would get a lot more views. But
wait, I noticed they put the other one back up, and you got over 3 on that one.
Yeah, and so you can't hit a home run all the time. But I'm playing around with it to see how is it that you play into the algorithm to get it to latch on and just. And so Larice has this down. Listen, I go in. I'm going to admit to you, I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna tell you that I go into Larice's channel. I go into Larice's channel, and that's where I get all my ideas for doing video shorts. All right. And so now that little toy, for example, I almost did it. Man, Minnie and I, we went into Toys R Us, and we said, "Hey, do you have that little alligator thing with the tooth thing that clamps down and bites you? Does it? I think we're sold out. That's such a popular toy, sir." And so everybody's going in there and they're asking for that little alligator toy. You know which one I'm talking about, Larry. You know which one.
Oh yeah.
The one that you fill it with candy. It's either a dinosaur or an alligator or some kind of a rodent.
They even got a mad dog that does it.
Yeah. But they go into the back room. They find a return. They come and bring it out. This was returned recently. I said, buy a YouTuber that went viral, no doubt. And the gal just chuckles. She's just laughing. She thought that was the funniest joke she ever heard. But did I buy it? I said, no. Thank you for your effort in going to look for it. But I think I changed my mind. I'm kind of burning out. I don't mind doing a parody on them, as you've been seeing my stuff, Larry. I like to parody things. Even in my videos, if you pay attention to what I say, I'm making fun of something usually. Right? Yeah. So check this out. So I didn't do this out of respect for the Taoists on the Taoist Temple video. So that area where the temple is, a lot of folks in the chat know that is Beverly Hills, and I mean it's Beverly Hills. I mean it emulates Beverly Hills. Yeah. So they have all the millionaires' homes up there on the hill. Obviously, if you're a millionaire, you want the best, and the best is overlooking the city. And the best location to build a spectacular mansion would be overlooking the city of Cebu. The higher, the better. The higher, the better. The tighter the sweater, the higher, the better. Elvie's in the house. Hi, Elvie. I'm so excited to see you. Marion, too. Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy. All right. So now, so I edited a lot of the jokes out. One of them I was talking about Manny Pacquiao. Then I realized that that's going over the top. That's being disrespectful when you're in the Taoist Temple. Now, but I left a few quips in there, that I thought were funny, but nobody has really caught on. And I think you might not, unless you read a book like the Tao Te Ching or something like that. Tao Te Ching, you know. I mean, you have to read. You have to be a little bit familiar with how certain religions work, you know. And anyway, so I took Asian philosophy and Asian religions when I was in college, and so I have some basic knowledge, enough knowledge to get me into trouble about how some of the religions work in, you know, various parts of the world, like Thailand and Vietnam and the like. I'm not
I would like
surprised.
to visit that talisman.
Oh, it's
Beautiful. That
spectacular.
looks nice.
It
Also,
is
I'd like to
nice.
see that Leah. Is it
Yeah,
Leah?
Leia.
Yeah, my I don't know what kind of looks like a Taj Mahal almost like place, you know.
Right, right. Um, so there's some things to see here, and how did I end up there? Oh, out of stock, sir. Yeah, they're always out of stock. Oh, Mike is making a little Filipino joke there. All right, so now Crystals was confirming I think she in the chat or in a private message maybe that she sent to me that she's starting to experience the increase that I've been talking about, and so she's starting to feel it. Starting to feel it in, you know, in the wallet. I'm not surprised because, like I said, Mamini and I were hanging around. We actually saw them changing the prices on things on one particular item several times. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was peanut butter or what it was. All
I
right,
remember you
so
talking about the change in the price where you were in almost
well,
hourly.
yeah, we were there. We saw them change the price one time as we entered, and then we came back through the aisle, and they were raising the prices again on the peanut butter. I don't know. I really don't know what was behind that. I started thinking that, well, we'd been here before, you know. I mean, hyperinflation is not something that the Philippines has had to deal with in decades. I don't think they're dealing with it now. So it could have just been a fluke that particular item was commodity sensitive, I guess is the way to say it, you know. So if they don't want to lose, if they want to, well, they don't really, I don't think they really lose money because they've already purchased the product that's on the shelf at a certain price. But they're
Yeah.
definitely taking advantage of the float on the dollar peso exchange rate on the Forex, I guess. I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert. As a matter of fact, I should give the standard disclaimer that whatever Dan has to say is to be taken for entertainment value only and never use it as investment advice. Got it, Crystals? Do not invest in rice futures. All right. What does Tim have to say? This is only what? A sales pitch. Out of stock, sir. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know, Tim, you may be right about that because whenever I've been told something is out of stock, it's mostly no. The stock clerk had a little bit too much to drink last night. Because generally speaking, if you go around the store, you're going to find what you're looking for. For example, I told a story about the vinegar, you know, about the apple cider vinegar. What I didn't tell you was I had first approached a clerk who said, "Out of stock, sir. Sorry, we don't carry that, sir." And I was going, And so, you know, I was given the Buffalo Shuffle, basically. Yeah, I was given the heave ho, you know, and then I went looking around saying they have to have it. Everybody's got it, right? And then found it in the foreign food section, the imported food section. They don't call it foreign food. They call it imported food. And if you call it imported food, you get to charge 3 times the price that would have cost you somewhere else. So anytime you are losing money on an item, one of the tricks is you just go grab it off the shelf and move that over to the foreign food section, and then it flies off the shelf. Listen, it's really interesting human behavior on certain things. You know, for a limited time only, free Buy one, take one.
And don't forget, it's product placement too. There's certain stuff they place at the register area because they know people do impulse buying. At least here in the states,
Yes.
they do it. You go here in the states, they got a lot of candy, they got a lot of pop, a lot of gum right at the register for that impulse buying. If not for you, maybe your kid that's with you. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want. Or Daddy, I want. And okay, here, get one. Pick one.
Folks, by the way, you're bringing up a really good point about the colors, because that definitely has something to do. It's to attract kids' attention, but it's not only to attract kids' attention, it's also to attract adults' attention.
Yeah.
So if you go and you look at the pattern of some of these very, very successful YouTube shorts, like the ones that Larissa are running. I mean, she just plays right into the YouTube algorithm with both providing the colors, the action, and the branding. If you're using a branded item like a Snickers bar or a Hershey bar or Hershey's Kisses or or Jelly Belly, we were so surprised. Man, Minnie and I, we went to the candy stop that's inside one of the malls, and we saw the Jelly Bellies, which were made not too far from our hometown of Sacramento, California, Vacaville or Vallejo or someplace. I believe it's Vacaville. And they had 10 or 12 different flavors of Jelly Bellies. They're gourmet jelly beans, basically. And I looked on the back, and it said on the back, right, manufactured in Malaysia. So now we've talked about this Malaysia thing, Malaysia being a manufacturing hub for apparently candy. And so I wonder whether we're going to if I go into Amazon, if I'm able to import Jelly Bellies, I might get the same decline the order that I got when I tried to order Hershey's. By the way, in case you don't know, Mike is muling over 2 bags of Hershey Kisses with almonds that you cannot get in the Philippines. You get the Malaysian manufactured version of it. And what most Filipinos want are the American version of the Hershey Kisses. Now, I have tried several different brands of chocolate, and I could tell you that there is a difference. There's a difference in the flavor. I'm not a chocolate aficionado, but I understand if Filipinos are looking for the American brand, I understand why they would be looking for it. It's because it does taste different.
But getting back to your Jelly Belly,
Yeah.
what U.S. president that was his favorite?
Yeah, Ronald Reagan, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan. People used to send him tons of Jelly Bellies.
Yeah, somehow he mentioned it in some. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
I mean, I would imagine he
interview or
got so
what?
many. Yeah, he got so many Jelly Bellies that probably he had to donate some of them to the children. By the way, folks, you've been making such beautiful comments about, the feeding program and how I celebrated my birthday by feeding those kids over there in Caridad. But I got to tell you that Des and Mel did all the work. Yeah. I did the easy part. I sponsored the feeding in honor of my birthday. I'm going to admit that. But all I did was give them the money. They busted their ass putting the program together. But this is something also that I have to commend Des and Melanie for, because whenever they can get a sponsor, they put on the program over there. And I knew that. Because if you go in and you watch Des or Melanie's channel, you're going to see that they do that from time to time.
Oh, by the way, Dan, Mike says 4 bags party pack, 40-ounce total.
Okay, so Mike, I want to pay him, but when I offered to pay him, he said, no, Dan, it's okay. So Mike says that as long as I don't charge him a consulting fee for building the house. But I can't really help. I'm telling you, I learned a lot. Even though I was doing a lot of this virtually, boy, did I learn a lot. Larry, yeah, I mean, if you go there, this was not a walk in the park. This was not a walk in the park. Yeah, we did a lot of work.
Like I told you a long time ago when I decided to start following you, I went back and I watched every video. So I've
Mm-hmm.
seen every video that you've made. Now, I can't say that with everybody because I started following you before I started following a lot of people. And so it's gotten to the point where if I catch a person early in their career, I can watch all of them. But some people's already got a few hundred out, and it takes me too long to,
Right.
you know. But back when I first started doing YouTube, I would go back and I watched all the videos
They
of
are great,
everybody I
huh?
followed.
They are great. Hey, Tim is saying for chocolate, add something to prevent the chocolates from melting. Yeah, we sent box loads of chocolate over here in Balabayan boxes, but it somehow managed to make it over intact. I'm not sure how that works. So Mike probably is Mike and his wife are probably muling it over in a suitcase or a secret briefcase or something. So I don't know. I don't know how you prevent chocolate from melting, but I would imagine that they put paraffin wax in there to hold everything together, so it has a higher melt rate or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if you would put one of those instant, what do they call those packets that you crunch and you throw it in to keep it cool. I'm not sure.
No,
But I
I'm
think
going to
it's
say that. Excuse me. I was going to talk to Mike here. He goes, Rique San Gio, oh dog. I did go back and watch all of Rique because he was one of the first people I started following in the Philippines. There was a guy in Taiwan called Thailand Rob, 26 in Thailand. Went back and watched all of his, and I no longer follow Rique. He went off in a direction I no longer care. And but like I said, he was one of the very first in the Philippines I started following, and because he started off, he was living on that one island, and he was living out in the country. And when he first started off, he was doing his videos for his family, and it just kind of took off. And so there was a lot of stuff that he was, doing, and then I got to where it was more about him and dating, and then he had this bachelor thing, oh, join about, I'm gonna tell you how hard it is to date in the Philippines. Hi, I'm Larry. How are you doing?
Mike's cracking me up. Hey, Mike, thanks. Thanks for going through the trouble. So he's saying he's got the chocolate in the fridge and they're going to bubble wrap it and throw it in the box. And then he's saying something. That's right, Dr. Layway. I really like that guy. I don't know what it is about him. His demeanor is so different. In the beginning, I had a hard time relating to Dr. Lawway. Dr. Lawway, oh, that's right. It's Dr. Lawway, not Layaway. Lawway, because he's a lawyer. And so he works remotely doing, legal stuff, paperwork, I guess. And it's working out for him from what I understand. So anyway, I catch him whenever I have time. I catch everybody whenever I try to catch everybody. Pacquiao Mertz is there. Mertz, are we meeting on Wednesday over there at SMC side? Anyway, Dr. Lawway, yeah, he's good. And I watch. Well, you know who I no longer watch though, Larry. I'll admit about building the house. Those speculators, that couple that built that beautiful house in hell, I don't even remember now. And they end up selling it. And then I thought, oh well, he's kind of a young guy, and she's in the property real estate business, so it makes sense. And now they're building two more. They started work on a second one, and now they bought land where they're preparing to build a third one. And that's where I gave up on it. I said, it's more exciting to me to watch somebody who's working working everything through to build the house for which they're going to live in, right?
Well,
But they
I've watched quite a few of those.
First house by saying we're building our dream home, and so he ends up having one of the most successful YouTube channels in history launch. I can't even remember his name. I just put them out of my mind when they started speculating in real estate, And so I don't watch them anymore. I don't even think about them anymore. I don't even remember their channel name, but it was kind of disappointing when I realized that Oh, they're doing this for a business. Yeah. I forgot to change my channel name once again on this thing. I wonder how you do that. Huh.
I'm going to tell you the truth now. If I go
No.
to look you up on YouTube, the
Yeah.
channel name's been changed.
Huh. Okay, so I'm
I
not
noticed.
doing something right. I'm not doing something right over here on the StreamYard end, I suppose. Yeah. All right, I have to look now. My eyes have been bothering me, so I have a bigger one. I had a smaller one of these, but now I got a bigger one. Mike is saying when they sold it, it soured me to them. Seemed like a scam. Dream home my ass. Mike, you and I are like that, like thinkers, bro. I felt bad. It didn't make me like these people. It drove me away from them. I felt really bad. It felt like a scam to me too, that they were using YouTube in order to sell the home. And that's most likely what they were trying to do. They were trying to use YouTube as a marketing vehicle, which worked. And it's brilliant because what they sold they sold the home in something like 30 seconds, after saying they wanted to sell it. Some guy, from Australia bought it, him and his wife, his beautiful wife. I mean, I'm happy for them. But I was very disappointed that I felt like we were being set up.
Like I said, I just pulled up my
Anna G
YouTube
is here.
subscriptions.
Anna G, Sir Larry, hi.
And it does say Dan and Minnie's Journey.
Yeah.
It switched over on its own from when you put it in.
Minnie O is here. By the way, who's going to win? Who's going to win this today? This is burning a hole in my pocket. Literally, it's burning a hole in my pocket. It's so hot here. We have the air conditioning. Maybe you could hear it. It's running full blast. And man, Minnie and I are looking at each other going, are we actually going out tonight? Yeah, but I hope it's a quick run to the taxi. And then we'll head over to the Galleria. Dan, when you start StreamYard, it would allow you to change your name. Yeah, I know, and I forgot to do it. I think I messed up because I fired the thing up and I forgot to. So anyway, what I was going to talk about a couple other things before I talk about my beef. I was going to talk about, I think. I'm gonna shelve that. I'm gonna shelve that idea.
What?
All right, folks, when you're I don't know. It could be that Mabel Torres is in the background, but she's sick. And initially I thought that she was goofing around when she said she had this terrible pain in the ass, right? But it turns out that me being an actual pain in the ass to most people, I can relate. And I made some kind of stupid joke saying something about me being a pain in the ass, right? Well, later she started having other symptoms that are alarming, I would say, at the very, very least. And so, Mabel, I hope you're feeling better this morning. But I think that, I know a lot of people are giving you this advice, so I'm not speaking out of turn. And I already did give the disclaimer, which was don't listen to anything or do anything that Dan has to say or tells you to do. But you might want to get that checked out. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. I know most people in here know about it because she posted it on Facebook. And man, I had tears. I'm going to tell you something, I could feel her pain. I mean, when somebody really is conveying to you that they're truly in pain by the way she characterized it on Facebook, it's pretty scary. It's a pretty scary thing because you want to help them, but how do you help them? Now, Rick Sayre, I believe it was, he offered up. He said, "Hey, if you need to go to the hospital, we'll make sure that happens." And you know what? I will second that. If you need to go to the hospital, then we will make sure that you have the means of getting into the hospital and having that taken care of or looked at. Minio, and then who else is here in the chat? I see some folks here. Ruria, hello, how are you? Jerry's here, Jerry from South Texas, who gave us a nice, I would say it was a very watching chickens is very interesting. And so yesterday on Larry Lee's Live, we got a chance to watch the chickens feed and the roosters, and I find it to be fascinating, very interesting, and very therapeutic for stress relief. So if you've
Well,
never tried that,
I
yeah,
also like watching fish swim. I've seen people where they have the fish tank up and they show the fish, and then
yeah,
Sammy does the koi. Sometimes she'll show her koi swimming around. I
right,
find that
right.
relaxing.
Hmm. Um, what were some of the other thoughts I want to share? Middle class. I started talking about middle class.
Middle class,
Listen,
yes.
talking about that other stuff was much more fun than what I'm going to talk about before I start talking about my major beef, right? So I think though that Mike's already figured out what I'm going to talk about. But Mike, don't give it away, all right? Do not give it away.
Give me a hint, Mike.
Let me have some fun, all right, with this, all right? Just a little bit, all right. So now, the 1%ers in the Philippines, or the 1.4%. And I'm glad Tim's here, because Tim is an excellent fact checker. And if I get my facts wrong, Tim is going to chime in and square it away, which I appreciate. So let's see. The 1%ers in the Philippines, that's 1.4% of the population. The rich of the richest, 1.4%, are usually the lawyers, the judges, the government officials way high up. The monthly income, as when I looked it up on Google, was defined as those making the equivalent of 3,500 US per month, or 182,000 pesos. So there you go. Okay, there is an emerging middle class that represents 12% plus of the population. Now, if in case you guys don't know, Filipinas, the middle class in the United States is shrinking every year. So their number keeps going down as a percentage of income. The rich get rich, the poor get poorer, and that also includes the folks that are in the middle class in the United States. So
I was listening to Robert Kennedy Jr.
yes,
and
he announced he's running for president. Yeah,
he's going to run for president. And he was talking about the middle class shrinking, and he's talking
yeah,
about they need to change some policies. Right
right.
now, I lean towards conservative side, but I like to think of myself
Well, Kennedy is a
moderate.
libertarian. Yeah.
Like, well, he's listed as a Democrat, but what I'm saying is I like to think of myself as a moderate, and he sounds moderate. Right now, of all the candidates I know, he's the one I like the best right now.
Well, listen. So you and I agree on something. It's Kennedy. Kennedy would be my man. But let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Right? Was Reagan a moderate,
Uh, no, I
or
don't think so. I think
was
he
he
was a
right?
conservative.
Well, he was pretty. He was right leaning, and the proof in the pudding was when he fired all the air traffic controllers. So in California, listen, he was a brilliant guy. Reagan was a brilliant guy
Oh yeah,
for a whole
great
bunch of different
moderator.
reasons. Yeah, for a whole bunch of different reasons. But okay, so the middle class is shrinking, and it's growing in the Philippines. And so, what is middle class? And if I give you a hint that $3,500 in U.S. or 182,000 Filipino pesos would be the upper end, the 1.4% of the riches of the rich Filipinos. Where do you think the middle class would be?
Uh, let's say somewhere around 1,000.
Yeah, that's incorrect. This is the reason why I went and looked, because I found out that it's not. See, I
Okay,
found
what is?
out I found out that it is not. It's not 1,000 like we've been led to believe by watching other people's channels. So, sometimes I do this. I do this all the time, and I know I've done it on this subject. This is the reason why I'm addressing it. I mean, for crying out loud, Crystal talks about being poor. She's mentioned this once or twice. There's no shame, obviously, in being poor. As a matter of
No,
fact, in this economic environment, it might be an advantage to be poor. But what is considered to be middle class in the Philippines?
I gave my guess.
Yeah, and I lost my number. Tim, help us out. Because we keep hearing it's 1,000 per month. And so am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? The Consumer Expectations Survey, CES, of Banco Central asked simply, is your monthly income below 10,000, between 10,000 to 29,999, or at least 30,000 pesos? In the first quarter of 2022, the Consumer Expectations Survey surveyed low-income household and determined that they represent 26%, and middle-income ones are 40%, but they don't give the numbers. Let me see if I can find it. In the United States, just so you know,
income for the Philippines?
Middle class in the United States floats somewhere between, if you're in the Bay Area, we'll use Bay Area because that's the first numbers that pop up, is going to be between $77,000 and $232,000. That's American dollars. You guys understand that if you're in the top end of that middle class range for a middle class Bay Area resident, you are going to be considered mega rich in the Philippines.
Well, you're talking. I just Googled the middle class, and it's a really large range here. They say between 18,000 pesos to 109,200 pesos per month. That's a large disparity.
Oh, that is, but it's within that $1,000. The $1,000 would fall into that category, I would suppose.
Yeah, but the lower end would not be within the 1,000; it'd be below it.
It shocked me, the number, and now I lost it. So now I have to go find it again. Oh, I see where you're looking. You're looking at between 18,000 and 109,200 per month, right? We're looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the lower end is only a little over $300.
Upper middle, but here's a hint. Upper middle income is between 63,700 to 109,200 pesos. So that gives you a hint. That's upper middle class. Lower middle class, they're defining as being between 18,200 and 36,400. So 18,200 is going to be what, about $400 a month, right?
Be probably a little under, but the upper middle class would be just under $2,000.
Yeah, so upper middle class would be around $2,000.
It depends on the.
So I think where I messed up is where I probably messed up would be that I was probably looking at the median and not the average. That's where I probably messed up. And so I had a number floating around in my head that middle class income was somewhere between $1,200 and $1,800 per month US. And so it is looking like the $1,000 equivalent, or 50,000 pesos, fits comfortably as a definition for middle class income.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, you'd
be almost middle of the middle class.
Yeah, you'd be right in the middle of the middle class. So that's what we're talking about.
You'd be.
But now I know. Now it just struck me what I was talking about. No. Somebody mentioned in a live stream, and I can't remember who it was, that you would be considered rich if you were $1,000 a month or more. And that was the incorrect information that I was trying to square away.
That's definitely incorrect.
That's definitely incorrect.
Unless they were talking, a few years ago, that might have been, but not in today's society.
Right. So to correct the whole thing, middle class income is considered to be in the Philippines somewhere around 50,000 per month. We're safe to say, and then rich is a whole lot higher than that. And so when Americans come over, let's talk about Americans because that's my experience. Because I'm American. When they come over, they're coming. A lot of folks are coming over, but not. I can't even say that most are coming over in the with only Social Security income. I think a lot of people have more, and some people have less. But to a good number of measure for what people are coming over here with is probably what the average Social Security recipient is making in the United States. And Larry, what is that number?
The average Social Security is less than $2,000 a month. Average, we're talking.
Right.
It's probably around 15 to 1,700 a month.
Right. So you Filipinas, so when you're seeing an American walking down the street, they most likely are going to be somewhere in that middle class range, but they're not going to be rich, not even by Filipino standards. And so that's sort of the point that I was trying to make.
You do have retirees that are going to be considered rich.
Right.
You take Steve. He's well over. From the way he talks, he doesn't give you exact amount, but the way he's talking, he's over $2,000 a month.
Well,
Put him in the rich category.
I mean, if he's got a government pension, he's probably doing okay because you're going to get your government pension. Well, I don't believe he's collecting Social Security yet. I think he's too young for that, right?
Yeah, he's only about 60, but he's also got, and he includes this in his income, his money from the channel.
Right.
So when he talks about that 2,000 to 2,500, he says he's over 2,500 a month. So that puts him in the rich category.
He's over how much? How much he's over? Is he over?
The way he was talking, he was over 2,500 a month.
Oh, okay. So that's what that would be upper middle.
His retirement and his money from his YouTube channel and
yeah. Well, I mean, you could probably go and get an idea of what Steve is making because they post that information on the web. So I mean, it's fairly easy. But I mean, I'm thinking I'm thinking that Steve and we're not too far apart in terms of monthly income. So I would say that he's probably making somewhere between 3,500 a month and 7,000, something like that.
Well, he may not be to 30. He may not be to that 35 yet. He might be, but I'm just saying. Remember, he hasn't got his Social Security yet.
Yeah, if I were guessing, though, I would think that he's making.
I'd say probably at least $3,000.
He's probably making 4,000 or 5,000 a month off of YouTube. That's my guess.
Oh, I don't know if he's making that much. He might be.
Yeah, I mean, look at regular guy. I mean, if you look at regular guy.
Yeah, remember now, Steve doesn't take any PayPal money or the only money he gets is from the people watching the AdSense is all he gets.
Yeah. Well, but his audience is the premium pay audience. His audiences are American. They're Westerners. Mine are Filipinas. See, so even if I were to activate my AdSense, I'll tell you where I was headed. I don't mind sharing it. Prior to demonetizing, I was getting close to getting my my first check of $100. So I was right there, and then I decided to voluntarily demonetize before they cut that check. So that's where Tox is here. Tox is so beautiful. Tox has done a couple live streams. I've missed the last couple live streams. I do apologize, Tox. Anyway, I would imagine looking at my numbers, because my numbers right now are going. They're going north. They're going north. The numbers are looking something like, and I think it's the short videos. Everybody kept telling me you got to create shorts. You got to create shorts. Create shorts. They're going to help your channel. And I didn't know what they were talking about, right? But it looks to me like now that they've monetized those shorts, it looks to me like you can make money. You can make money by just posting shorts. If you find that if you hit that algorithm sweet spot,
Yeah.
I like using that, the algorithm sweet spot. Your whole YouTube career can be doing nothing but creating short videos. Now, here's something I also want to talk about before we get into what's my
And
beef.
all right, before you do that, let's say
Yes, sir.
hi to Girly, Cena,
Girly
and
Santa.
Seth Travel. They
Sess is
both
in
came.
the house.
Yeah, they both just came in.
Hey, Sess, let me ask you a question. What's going on in Sicky Horror? Hey, Sess, have you seen any witches hanging around? Witches living in the tree? Did you get a room where the tree overhangs your room? Just curious about that.
I think I saw on YouTube that one of your favorite vloggers is going to move to, I want to say, Sycamore.
Who's that?
Sunset Shoulders? He's moving somewhere?
Where's he moving?
I was thinking Sycamore, but it
Well,
might have been one of the.
should I ask him? Should I ask him Thursday when we're at his meet and
I,
greet?
I believe it was him that I saw on the uh, uh,
Oh,
a
Seth is
blurb of what
saying,
they're
hey,
moving.
check this out. Seth is saying they stayed in the river hut. Oh, but did you have the riverhead blessed before you moved in? I'm just kind of curious how you guys handled that. See, I want to go to Siquijor, especially now more than at any time I've ever wanted to go after watching Sess's experiences there on both her Facebook page and the video. Sess, you got to know that I'm your number one fan. I mean, just because I haven't grabbed the badge yet does not mean that I'm not your number one fan. Just because I don't send stars or whatever that thing is that they're having us do now for you to make money does not mean I'm not your number one fan. But anyway, okay, so anyway, Sess is inspiring, because because I wanna go there now.
We got a
And so,
Brian just came in.
Brian, what's going on in Sacramento, California, my friend? How's it going, Brian? Okay, Brian, we are brother-in-laws, Brian. I just wanted to let you know that in case you don't have the definition now. It's brother-in-law, your sister being married to my son. All right.
Well, that's
I'm just teasing. I'm teasing Brian. It's another day in Metropolis. Yeah, it's another day in the neighborhood. Well, don't get killed today, Brian. Don't get shot. Don't get shot at Walmart or something, right? Don't be hanging around the mall when things go south, all right? Yeah. Food is excellent. You see, all right, Seth, do tell us about the food. How tasty is the food? Because I've watched other people's vlogs that have been in Siquijor, and the food looks fabulous. I mean, fabulous. They're doing all farm to fork, that sort of thing. That movement that seems to be the center of the farm to fork movement. Am I right about that or not? Because for that alone, I need to visit. I definitely need to visit. Brian says LMOA. Yes, we all know. And of course, yes, Brian, you asked me a question. You sent me an email about, stay away from that. Someone's dying every day, drive-by shootings. But Brian, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, of course I know what the emojis. Listen, I know what the emojis mean. I use the eggplant emoji because it made me chuckle. That's why I used it. I laughed, I mean, it's all about
and
natural. It's all about being natural,
I just looked
Yeah,
up Sunshine Shoulders.
You
He
want
said,
to
"We're
come over
moving
and
to
say
Sycamore."
hi, Brian?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hello,
Hey,
good morning,
Mimi.
guys. Hi, Sir Larry. Good morning.
Look, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Brian's
How
in
are
the
you, Brian?
Brian's in the house. we
How are you?
hey, we miss you, Brian, but we'll probably
Miss you, Brian.
we'll probably be in Sacramento by the end of the year. You know,
Yeah,
wherever
we'll
the
see you
cheapest
there.
fare is, we'll see you there in Sacramento.
Always sticker, okay?
All right, man, Mammy. Now, like I said,
That's
I
Man
just looked
Minio.
up,
That's
just looked up
Minio's
Sunshine
cameo
Shoulders.
appearance. Hey, if
Just
you
looked
haven't
up,
already done so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I looked up Sunshine Shoulders. He just put out the video yesterday, a day ago. Says we're moving to Siquijor Island in a beachfront apartment for 20,000 pesos a month.
What?
I just looked it up.
Yeah, but he just got through building his house.
Well, maybe they're only going there for a few months. Who knows? I haven't watched the video. I saw the
Okay,
video.
so 20,000 a month. That ain't cheap. You know,
Well,
that
that's only
ain't
three
cheap.
hundred some dollars a month.
That
Hey,
don't call me
he's
low budget
he's
Dan for
remember
nothing.
how large is his channel?
Big,
Yeah, so I'm saying though,
really
he's got
big.
he
He's
may
really
have
big and successful.
he said he may have the cash. See,
Tux, love you, Tux. There's a meet and greet in Cebu. Yeah, up the street from where our apartment is. Sess. They're meeting at Philly Sports Bar and Grill. And I told the story. Says I don't know if you heard or not, but I got I don't know if I'm going to go because man, Minnie and I we were in Phillies and we were walking by Phillies heading for someplace else and they go come on in here have a beer. You buy the first one, the second one for 29 cents. And so I went over very carefully the details of how does this promotion work, right? And so when we got done with the beer, right, we said, okay, we're ready for our 29-cent beer. I said, well, sir, you would have had to order the special super duper house beer that doesn't exist. I said, oh, so I smile at them. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I kind of knew. Something like this was going to happen. And so how should I say it? It left a sour taste in my mouth thinking about that beer that I didn't get, the 29-cent beer, because the girls are all out there on Maxilome, and they're holding a sign saying 29 cents for beer, and then you go and you say, how does this work? Well, you buy one, and the second one you get for 29 cents. No such thing, no such event occurred, Seth. And who else is here? We got Mike,
Daisy Lynn's here.
Brian's here.
Did you see
Daisy Lynn
Lynn?
Castro, who sings like a bird, is here. And Tox. Tox. So Mike is the one, Tox. My friend Mike, Hey Joe, is the one who's going to be muling those Hershey Kisses with almonds this way. And and Mike says he's got them in the freezer right now to try and keep them as cold as possible so they don't melt before they get here. See, I open my mouth, right, saying I'm going to get you chocolates, right? And I tried to order them from Amazon and send directly to Tox's house. And guess what happened? They sent me the thing saying, no, you can't import chocolate from the Philippines. That has to come from Malaysia, the Hershey manufacturing plant in Malaysia. So that prompted me to go in and I did the whole research showing that, yeah, it's out of stock, sir.
Brian says, James says hi.
Hey, James, how's it going? I hope all things are going well. Hope things are going well. So James is the other brother-in-law from Sacramento, California.
All right.
Nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there.
Would that be a son-in-law?
That would be brother-in-law because we're married to his. Yeah, that would be my son is married. Yeah, that would be son-in-law. You're right. Son-in-law, not brother-in-law. Son-in-law, because he's married to my son. Yeah, their sister. Yeah. By the way, here's a little news that you could use. Both Brian, let's see, Brian. No, maybe it wasn't Brian and James. I don't know how this works, right? One of them has Filipino blood, or both of them have Filipino blood. So there. So how that whole thing happened, I don't know. So you'd have to talk to them about that. Either one of them or both of them have Filipino blood somewhere.
James says he is here.
Yeah.
James just came in the chat.
James, thanks for being here, man. And Jeff Calhoun is checking in. Jeff, I thought you were at some fancy resort someplace because you've been doing those pictures on Facebook that have those beautiful, beautiful sunsets. It's almost like that you're doing all that work on what's that program on the computer, But I know that that's straight from your camera, probably your camera phone. But those sunsets were I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you could see the shot, but Seth and also our friend Jeff Calhoun. Jeff, you guys remember Jeff because we did the video on living in the Philippines on $800 per month. You remember that?
Oh, is that Jeff?
That's the Jeff. Yeah, that's the Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
That was a good video.
Yeah. Out of stock or too lazy to go find it for you. Yeah. The whole thing about this, Jeff, that cracks me up is that they say out of stock. So you have one of the beautiful things about the Philippines that I like is that when they have a million people on the sales floor, if you're in the grocery store or in the metro market or wherever you may be, right? You have, look at the last name. It's Ballesteros. All right. So that name is all over the Philippines, right? Ballesteros. All right. So you're going to go there and get a traditional tribal tattoo. How much are homes there? Well, that's the question. That's the question, because you can build your own. What kind of home do you want? Yeah, that's the whole thing. Because we know people building a brand new one. I doubt that it's going to run them any more than $20,000. And it's a beautiful home. But you could also build
for $5,000.
Yes, you can. Absolutely true.
So
Akio Mertz is in the house. So they have all these people on the sales floor, and you go. So now I'll give you an example of what Jeff might be talking about. So going to Metro and Bye, I'm looking for a leather recliner. I just happened to see one upstairs in overlooking the Baywalk. They put them on display there occasionally, and they put the price tag on. But I go downstairs to the furniture section, the Metro. I said, "Hey, you got any leather?" I knew this was going to happen. I was having my own fun. I have these fun things in my head, right, going on. So I went down there and I said, "Hey, you got any leather? Easy chairs hanging around, recliner chairs?" And they go, "Sorry, sir, out of stock." I started laughing at them. I go, "Really? Out of stock?" I go, "Would you like me to hold your hand and show you the one that's upstairs on display overlooking the Baywalk?" Oh. So, and they panic, right? They panic. "Oh, so sorry. And then they go over and they get the manager. I don't know what kind of conversation goes on. "Boss, I screwed up. This guy's looking for a leather recliner, and we happen to have one upstairs, but I told him that we didn't have one. I told him out of stock." So anyway, I don't know what kind. I'm just making it up as I go on. Irene is here. Irene, welcome. Nice to see you. Always very supportive. So anyway, so that I go, "Yeah, Brian knows me. I don't play like that. I have all these jokes going on in my head 24/7. Sometimes they get taken out of context and they don't play out the way that I have them playing out in my head. But obviously, I'm messing with the guy." And so the manager comes over and he says, yes, sir. We do happen to have a leather recliner upstairs on display overlooking the Baywalk." "Of course you do, because I'm the one that just told Mr. Salesman of the Year over there that you've got one after he told me out of stock, sir." So now the manager is starting to panic. And now I realize you can only go so far with a joke. See, you can, because now everybody's in fear that they're going to lose their job because the foreigner's going to go complain to somebody. Relax, everybody, I tell them. Relax. Nobody is reporting anybody to anybody. Nobody's going to complain. Everything is cool. I love you all. Have a nice day. But the next time I went in there, wanting to go check out that leather recliner, some foreigner had already bought it. Jax Vimes is in the house. Jax, I love going into her online show. Where they sing, and she has guests. She has guest singers on occasion. She runs the thing so well. She's brilliant, brilliant hostess. Brilliant hostess. If I were the one hosting, I would lose total and complete control. Yes. A dry sense of humor, yeah, it does not go over very well in the Philippines. And that's something interesting that we should talk about also. Keep your sarcasm and your dry sense of humor at home. And whenever you're going, for example, here's the whole thing. Be nice to everybody that crosses your path, because they surely will be the person that's going to come to your aid in times of trouble. And I'm serious about that. I really mean that. It's going to be the security guard downstairs from your apartment complex. It's going to be the security guard at the door of the Metro Mart. It's going to be something like that. When you need them the most, they're going to be there for you. And all you really have to do is say hi and flash them a smile. Flash those pearly whites, folks. Flash those pearly whites. Do not get mad at them. Jeff can tell you what happens if you get angry at someone and they think that you're being serious and not joking. And also, here's another thing I've learned. Alcoholic beverages go a long way in the Philippines. So if you want to be nice to somebody, buy them a beer.
Just sit down and hand them an open one.
Yeah, learn the culture before you come here, folks. Learn the culture. See if you are able to adapt to that culture. Yeah, American humor is not understood in the Philippines. It's confusing. American humor is confusing, and so they're oftentimes they don't get mad. They just give you the quizzical Filipino look, like, they'll smile now. They'll give you the this guy's going batty. Think we ought to get him some help. Let's see if we can get somebody around here to help him. That's kind of how.
Well, Seth says Sunshine's just going to rent it for a year.
Oh, okay. So he's doing the same thing that we're doing, but he picked probably a better location, because he was going to.
It's a beachfront apartment or house.
Yeah. Yeah. So we rented here in Cebu. The main thing is when we wanted to go to the other islands, I don't want to rent a hotel room. I don't want to have to shell out even $30 a night for a hotel. I realize how silly it is. It's probably silly.
If you can call.
Yeah, that we can keep our junk. I hate muling stuff all over the place. I hate packing up my backpack, even if it's a backpack. I know Seth and her man, they have this down. Whenever you watch him, he's got his backpack, she's got hers. I don't see him lugging a whole bunch of luggage everywhere for crying out loud. I mean, they have it down. They're adventure seekers. They know that you have to travel lightweight, right? So, I mean, I've been living on 3 or 4 shirts and a couple of jeans for months now. That's all I need. I don't care what people think. I don't care if they come up to me and say, "Oh, you look a little bit wrinkly today, Dan." Yeah, I really don't care. I'm retired. I'm retired and inspired.
As long as it looks clean and doesn't smell.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. As long as you don't stink or your clothes don't stink, you're good to go. And while the sun is burning a hole, in us, burning a hole, giving us cataracts and all this stuff, giving us skin cancer. Well, the sun's at work doing all that nicety stuff. You could be washing your clothes and throwing them outside on the line.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal. Plus, they speak better English the more they drink. Jeff, really? Was that a nice thing to say, Jeff? Was that a nice thing to say? Retired and inspired. Put it on a t-shirt, Dan. Yeah, merch. That's coming next. Dan and Minnie's Journey merchandise. Yeah, we could put it on this coffee cup right here.
And I want one big enough to hold 12 ounces of coffee.
Yeah, honestly, been in many countries, and Japan, we did bring a suitcase. Yeah, Japan, I can imagine. Here's the thing, Seth. Seth, you know me. You know me well enough to know that you'll never find me in Singapore or Japan. Because it costs too much. Exactly. Flying over, you'll find me in the airport. You'll find me passing through. For example, Seth, I know you're going to agree. The most fabulous airport, one of the most fabulous airports in the world has to be Singapore, has to be in Singapore, but that's as close to actual Singapore that I'm ever going to get. I'm ever going to be. I mean, because Singapore airport, it's like walking into some kind of luxurious mall, for crying out loud. You can get lost in that place. You can also spend hell of money. You have Cartier, you've got Coach, you've got everybody that's anybody is there. You've got Rolex, everybody is there. Yeah. So
I guess Korea's got a real nice one too, international airport from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Many, yeah.
Those are the two best that I've heard of.
It's true. Yeah, Brian's right. It's Minnie that does the work, Dan. That's why you don't care about the clothes. He's absolutely right. Yeah. The best port in the world is Singapore. Seth agrees. See, I know because I've been there. So I'll fly through and I'll wave as I'm passing by as the plane's landing and taking off. But that's as close as any Singapore hotel that I'm ever going to get. But Malaysia, I'm going to give a go because Malaysia. Of course, I'm going to go Kuala Lumpur because you can find economical. How should I say this in the nicest way? You could find economical accommodations in Malaysia. So Malaysia, Vietnam is on the agenda. Cambodia and Laos is on the agenda, and doing all the things you do when you go to those countries. Those are definitely on the agenda. And that's why we rented this apartment here in Cebu, is because we wanted this place as home base when we're taking off, flying all areas north and south. So it would just make it easier. Leonard is in the house from Houston, Texas. Do you say Houston or Houston? Yeah. Don't worry about clothes. You can buy. Yeah. See, Seth makes a very good point here. You're not going to you're not going to some weird place that doesn't have civilization, like malls and stores and places to shop. And they have your size. Even here in Cebu, they have my size. Guys, wherever you're hearing this stuff about, you go to the Philippines, you're going to have to bring extra large. Yeah. That was the case several years ago, but since the proliferation of McDonald's and Jollibee, it no longer is the case.
It's probably still hard to find, but you can find them.
Yeah, you can find anything you need to buy right here. They have the extra large store because I've been in there. They have the extra large store here in Cebu. You can go visit. Go ahead. What?
Well, here in the States, they got a store they call DXL.
Yeah, they have something
extra large.
They have something like that. Filipino Raquel is in the house. By the way, okay, I want to talk.
Raquel?
Filipino Raquel has been sick lately. I don't know if you guys know this or not. She's one of the staple, on one of the staple channels I try to go to as often as I can. So go looking for Filipino, and plus, she's very, very supportive of our channel and very, very supportive of Seth's channel. She has the Nightbot always putting up our links, and then she does it often. And, she's been sick lately. And so it was very, very noticeable when Filipina stopped. All of a sudden, she just stops live streaming, And I started getting worried. Now I'm finding out that she's having a tough time recovering from whatever it is that you're suffering from. And so I feel for you, and I pray that all good wishes, Filipino Raquel, that you for a speedy recovery. Says saying only shoe size. My husband. Oh yeah, well your husband is a big dude. He looks like a big dude, and so I mean. And he looks like he's in hella good shape. And so I want to say that about your husband. So I did think about that. I did think that it might be tougher to find things for your husband. But me, I'm the incredible shrinking man, Seth. And so it's easier for me to find. The incredible shrinking man means that every year I get a little bit shorter. I'm finding my way weight wise from suggestions that Leonard makes about diet change and things like that. I still fall off the wagon.
I hope you get better. She says she's going to the doctor.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
That's good. It's about you need to go. Let us know if you need any help that way. We'll send you some dough. So let's see.
Brian said her husband's a linebacker.
Yeah. Pretty much true.
Hey, how are you?
He comes from an industry where they don't play around. They actually do physical works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he actually did that for a prolonged period in his career, but he looks like he's in really good shape. I should be so lucky one day. There was a time in my 30s that I was a muscle man. It didn't last very long.
It was a lot earlier in my life than 30s.
I think it was 32-inch waist. At one time, I got down to 32.
Well, I had at one time I had a 52-inch chest and a 34-inch waist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a young man.
I still got a picture I can prove I was
here.
like that.
Maurice is still here. Maurice, the Philippines' most popular bachelorette. By the way, Larice, we're going to be meeting, but now, Larice, here's the thing. I realized that the time period that I was going to be coming there probably would have coincided. It would have overlapped your birthday live stream, and so it was just happening on May 23rd. But the real reason is that Mamini and I, we started thinking about, okay, we have to be in Bye Leyte the first of the month of May in order to pay bills and square things away. Then we're coming back to Cebu, and then we're getting ready to launch to Manila. But then we started thinking, wait a minute, we can't go to Manila until after the first week of June. And the reason is because we got to stay here and we got to square those bills away. So once we come back to the apartment, they're going to give us, like we have to pay the June rent. Then we have to pay the electric and the water bill. And then once all that's squared away, we get a launch to Manila and all places north. And this is what I didn't want to reveal too much about what this trip would involve, but it definitely involves hooking up with Larice and other friends that are in the Manila area. And of course, I was hoping to see Daisy Lynn Castro, Filipino Raquel as we're heading north. And then also, I wanted to see where this could go, because Mamini and I, we have to file she has to reclaim her citizenship in Manila, which has a 15-day turnaround. And in that 15 days, we could be in Pangasinan, we can be in Baguio City, we could hop on a bus or a plane and head over to Isabela. And one of the reasons why, if you guys look on the Philippine map, from Baguio to Isabela is not an easy place to get to. You would either have to come back to Pangasinan, I think, or Manila, and then move north again. How this is going to work out, it truly is going to be an adventure if we pull it off. But I was planning on doing, I was planning on doing this, Leonard, during this 15-day turnaround time. You see how I was going to work it? Going to go to Manila, go to immigration, have the paperwork ready to go, and then take off to all points north, and eventually end up try and see Pinky Gray in Isabela,
Okay.
And Isabela for another reason, because that's where all the action is that's going on in the world. That's where all the
okay.
and the military, from what I understand, is en route, and I was hoping to get some glimpses of the military coming back to Isabella. So that would
Okay,
be
I see.
exciting, right? That would be exciting,
That
right,
would
Larry?
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be.
It would be. Another thing I would like to see while you're up in some of those areas that you go to is that marker 44, where they
Yeah.
got these statues of
Yeah.
MacArthur coming
In
out.
Bataan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
another
we'll
thing
be passing
in
through there.
Manila was,
You're right. You're right. We'll be passing through Bataan, if I'm not mistaken.
and when I go, because I do plan on going to Manila when I go.
That's where
Visit.
Brian's father is from. Brian, that was the other thing I wanted to do. I'm going to, man, guys, his father is from Bataan, and I wanted to go there. I wanted to be a proxy for his father, and say a prayer for him.
Yeah. Another thing you'll want to see in Manila area, if you haven't already done it, is the American War Cemetery. I don't know if you've
Yes.
seen the videos of that or not, but that's absolutely gorgeous. And it's very poignant because all these people are laid out. They're not laid out by race or religion or anything. They're laid out and very nicely done. And you can walk around and like the Jewish people still have a cross. They have a Star of David. And then
Yeah,
they got that.
Brian, you're welcome. This is one of the things that I've been wanting to do that we haven't been able to do yet. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. We're going to take
hi,
pictures
Raquel.
for you. We're going to take pictures for you, Brian, and send them back
And
so
Maurice.
you can see them.
Brian wants to know if they got a tattoo artist there.
Of course they do. I'll get it. You know what? I'm going to get one. Should I get one that memorializes this? I'm not a fan of tattoos, but I'll tell you what. I would do it. I would do it on behalf of your family and your father. I would do it in commemoration of the Bataan Death March. In fact, you know what? Larry's given me an idea. I would actually get the tattoo of marker 44 for you on behalf of your father.
And Brian says you still got his number.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. But you know what, Brian, do you have my number? Because I don't know if you know it or not, but I have that service from Google that if you text me to the old phone number, I will get the message in my email account. I don't know if Craig shared that information with you or not. But
And Brian likes the idea of the tattoo of marker 44.
yeah.
Goes, whoa, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, that would be the coolest thing, the coolest thing to memorialize your father and your family would be
So
to
I
go
got a
there.
tattoo here. It's of a ship with a setting sun. It's got 4 flowers for the countries I've been to and 5 birds for the port of calls I've been to. So it
Right.
means something. And I'm a firm believer if you're going to get a tattoo, don't be afraid to show it to your mother.
That's right.
That's
No,
a good
Brian.
idea.
Brian, James, all you guys have to do if you want to talk to me is text me to the 916 phone number, and it forwards automatically to my email. It's the greatest service in the world that Google has. Yeah. Who else is in here? Wait a minute, I got to get my magnifying
Suzuki
glass.
just came in. Suzuki Lee.
Hi,
Suzuki Lee's in the house. Suzuki Lee, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. We
Is
truly
that a
appreciate
relative,
it.
Larry?
Who knows? With the last name like Lee, you never know. But
Yeah, that's right. That is true, huh?
Yeah.
So there are exciting things coming in my future. I just hope I don't get hit by a jeepney driver while I'm trying to
you spell it
accomplish
the
all
same
these
way,
things.
so there's always a possibility.
Yes.
Well, hey, I don't know where. Like I told you before, I'm a mutt. I'm a Heinz 57. I got
Yeah.
family. Came from the Native American, Irish. They're French. They're German. They're English. They're Scottish.
Right.
I don't know where they're all from.
Yeah.
That's just what I know.
Lee is just only the number one last name in the entire world, isn't it?
Probably.
I
Or
don't
is it
know.
Zhang? Or is it Zhang? Zhang or Wang?
It could be Smith.
Yeah, it could be.
Because Smith is, a lot of countries have Smiths. Because in
Yeah, but
Germany,
Lee.
Smith is Smith.
Yeah, but see,
How many Ballesteros
Lee
are
could be
down there in the
in most
Philippines?
Asian countries, so as well
Yeah,
as everywhere else.
Yeah, but
Holy cow, Brian! You'd be
Lee's
hard
in China
pressed.
spelled L-I.
You can't walk 10
Yeah,
feet
That's
without running
everywhere.
into a Ballesteros here. Everybody's
some-
name is Ballesteros.
and some of them are just LE. But
Yeah. That's pronounced Lay. I knew, at least the guy I knew, it was Dung Lay, and his last name was L-E.
yeah, that's
Uh,
probably right.
And I don't think he was Chinese. I think they were maybe Vietnamese. I'm not sure.
Not
actually
only
sounds
that,
right.
but you'll find part of Craig's surname. Edatis is here also, and you're going to find the name Herrera here also. So I mean,
Well,
Hey, you find Lees everywhere.
and
yeah.
you find Lee everywhere. That's right. Yep, Lee's Jewelry Shop. Wasn't it the other day?
And by the way, Leonard, Miss Suzuki told you hi.
Oh,
You didn't
thank
see
you.
it?
Yeah.
Right, who's going to win this 100 peso bill today in your Gcash? That's the question. All right, now, what was the subject today? Oh, yeah, what's Dan's beef? You guys have been waiting long enough, right? You want to know what the beef is. Dan's beef for living in the Philippines is the lack of beef. Yes.
I've heard that.
Yes.
Now,
So here's
Most of the beef there is from Australia, isn't it? They have to import it.
well,
well,
actually,
I think they have to import it, but I don't know if I don't think it's Australian.
yeah, no, I think that we have a lot of Brazil. I think we have a lot of beef coming in here from Brazil,
Okay.
and you'd have to look at the import numbers. I looked it up online, and I was surprised to find out that you don't have commercial beef farming here in the Philippines the way you do in other places.
Right.
So mostly they're backyard cows that they're raising. They don't age them. The cow goes directly to market once it's slaughtered,
Yeah.
and so there's
Don't
no
age it,
aging.
Don't
Yeah,
age it.
there's no aging process. And so I've been complaining. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? That's old Wendy's commercial, right?
At Wendy's.
Yeah.
Well, Steve
That was one of the
was
most-
talking about that. I
Clarabelle.
think on his last video, maybe the one before.
What do you say?
He's got several different places where you can get decent beef.
Yeah, you have to know.
Out of Manila, he says you can get it.
Yeah,
Talk about
but
that
it's
fast.
imported, right? It's all
Well,
imported
I'm sure
beef.
it is.
Yeah,
sure
it
it
has to be.
Yeah, unless somebody butchered their carabao.
Well,
Right.
I know in Dumaguete.
But see, here's the problem, Leonard.
They
Since
have
you brought this up,
dovetails.
all right, hang on just a second, Larry. I want to hear what you have to say, but I want to address something about the carabao. So we go into this beef rib place. It says beef ribs,
Right.
right? And I'm getting all excited. I'm in there with not Man Mini. I think I was with brother-in-law Gel, and so he's going, "Hey Dan, we should try some of these beef ribs." And a huge sign, beef ribs, right? So they bring these ribs to the table, and I'm looking at this. I'm going, "What, Gel? What part of the cow is that?" I said, "I'm not recognizing it at all." He's going, "Me neither." I thought this was a beef rib place. It says beef ribs. We ordered beef ribs. He goes, "Yeah, but this doesn't look like beef to me. What does it look like to you?" He says, "It looks like carabao." Oh no, you're kidding me. I've never eaten a carabao. Does it taste like does it taste a little like chicken? So anyway, like idiots, we dove in there, right? And we started munching down. And then we both ended up getting sick. So the thing that I've been complaining to Minnie about this meat deal, it's not only about the beef, it's about the pork too, is that they're luring you in to these restaurants, and it's not fair with these eat all you can promotions. And you go there and you order up the food, and they bring you this canner's grade meat. And I've gotten sick. I'm telling you, whenever I've tried this, because I've tried this many times, looking for a place that I could call home, that I could depend upon.
Right.
Especially here in Cebu, and I'm only batting out of the places that we've been. I would say that quarters of them are serving you garbage meat, and so it's a problem.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you
a
know, the
problem.
thing about that is they know they can get away
the
with it.
American style restaurants.
Well,
Like Denny's?
here's the problem. Everybody loves it. They rave about these restaurants. Oh, this is the tastiest. This is the best meat that I've ever eaten. Blah, 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 blah. And then you get it, and you get this canner's great stuff, unrecognizable except for maybe the pork belly. Pork belly uncured is not very tasty, by the way.
No, it's
You
really
know,
not.
you know, depends on how it's cured. But so they bring it, like, for example, the Korean barbecue and the Japanese barbecue, they love to load you up on pork belly. And everybody in the whole restaurant is having a great old time cooking up the pork belly. Yay! Well, isn't it so great? We're paying a fortune for this garbage food. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then you end up going home sick, you know, and you're like, this wasn't such a good idea. It all starts with the lump, hiatal, right up here. It all starts right about here and works its way down, slowly but surely. It's
Well, you
going to
know,
happen.
Dan, you are supposed to chew it.
Well, here's the whole thing. It's very fatty and very difficult to chew.
Being fatty is not necessarily bad, but
It's not necessarily a bad thing,
if it's
but
tough,
all of it is fat. All of it is fat.
yeah,
So basically what you're doing there is you're frying fat until it has that crispy lechon texture on it, and then you're swallowing it. Listen,
just cut it smaller.
we paid $30 the other day for lunch, man, Minnie and I, and the only redeeming value was it was all the beer you can drink.
Yeah.
So once I realized, I'm not getting anything out of this meal, then I went straight for the San Miguel painted label.
My kind of beer.
Oh my gosh! They only serve Carabao to American people. Filipino people don't eat it. Thanks, Tim. Where were you, Tim? Where were you when we decided that we were going to hit up that restaurant? And why didn't my Filipino brother-in-law know this about this? That they only get the Americans to eat it.
Yeah. Well, what I figured was that the Filipinos were used to it, so they think it's good. They've never
And
had
Brian
it.
is saying, Dan doesn't chew the meat. The meat chews itself before it enters Dan's mouth. That's the story of Dan. And so, folks, I got a little bit pushback about this Jollibee. They said that from the conversation we were having the other day, right?
Yeah.
I was talking about the grab, but it happened again, not in Jollibee this time, in Pancake House at the Terraces of Ayala. I'm telling Mammy, I'm feeling like pancakes. So we go in there. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the food. The food was delicious. The problem was you had to wait in line. You had to wait until the Grab guys got their order first. We were sitting there waiting, and so it was an all-you-can-eat thing, or eat all you can. That means that once you finished off a plate, you could order another one, some more pancake. Some more pancake.
Place I went to.
Right. And guess what? We're waiting.
3 hours.
Orders,
30 minutes.
yeah. Orders are coming out for Grab. So I'm telling you, there's a cultural shift. There's some kind of change coming in the way that they handle. It's the entire fast food industry around the world. It's not just the Philippines. It isn't just the Philippines. It's everywhere. It is everywhere in the world this is going to take place.
I pretty
Tell
much
me that
don't
there
go
isn't a
to fast food
conspiracy.
restaurants at all anymore.
Leonard, Larry, Lie to me, Larry. I depend on you to lie to me.
All right. Well, when I go to uh, this Subway shop, DeBello's, they will have somebody work on that. But when you walk in, they take your order. They start building your sub right then. So I mean, you're not going to say have to get in behind somebody else. They'll work on the others when they're called in, but they do it in the order that they receive it. Same thing with Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys is good.
Hey,
Five
take
Guys.
care, Brian. Take care,
All right,
Brian.
Brian, take care, man.
Have a good day at
Five
work.
Guys
Brian.
does the same thing. You walk in, you put your food in, and they start cooking it. And the same thing. They just—it's such a automated production, like, but
Right.
it's people. But I mean, it's just such a good.
Yeah, Five Guys is the only fast food joint I'll even think about going into anymore.
But hey, I noticed this prior to Minnie and I leaving and coming over to the Philippines a year or so ago. It's been a year and a few months, I guess. We were noticing this. We were noticing this change happening in Sacramento, California. We noticed that that they were serving up the delivery drivers like Panda First, or what are they called there? They're not called Grab there. I don't know what they're called.
They got Grubhub and they got Food Dash and
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
They were servicing all these guys up first, and the reason I think they do it,
Hello Fresh, I think, something like that.
Yeah, they do it because they know that that's high end profit on. Yeah, and so they have a menu that's designed for profit. They're going to serve that up first, and that's what's Jollibee. I had mentioned the reason why they offer the full-fledged menu even through the front door, even when it's breakfast hours. You know, McDonald's limits breakfast till 10:30, and then they go up full up menu.
Yeah,
it's because of production.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Five Guys got such a good production line.
Right. Yeah, but they're limited. Listen, they're only doing lunch and dinner. They're not doing breakfast, are they?
I don't think so. I've never been in that early. I don't know.
Yeah. No. And so the thing is, Jollibee messes up. So here's a corporate guy at Jollibee. Here's an executive. I know the thinking. You know, well, since we have this menu open for the Grab guys 24 hours a day, well, why don't we just do it nationwide? Yes, we'll just nationwide offer a full menu up 24 hours a day. And those poor workers back there tripping over themselves because they got to cook pancakes on the same griddle they got to cook the burgers on. You see the dilemma, you see the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't produce the food efficiently enough, and then also they're servicing the Grab delivery drivers first before they are doing the customers that are walking through the front door. They know that the customer coming in through the front door, they know already something's going to change, that they're going to change something up. They're preparing us for it. Because now when you go up to the counter here in the Philippines, they say, sir, is that okay? That will be a 15-minute wait. They say it in front because they already know that you've come in there during breakfast hours, which is a high
volume time. Yeah.
High volume. Yeah, that's right. And they know. Not like McDonald's, where we go in the McDonald's. They don't say that to us in McDonald's. They grab your stuff. It's ready to go.
I've had restaurants tell me that here in the States, but it's because you order something that they don't get ordered a lot, so they got to cook it up fresh. Like Dairy Queen, they have meals that you can order, but if you buy something that's not a big ticket item, or not a main ticket item,
very often sold.
Right? I've had them tell, "Hey, sir, it'll be a few minutes. We'll bring it out to you."
See, you guys get it. Tim gets it. He's saying, "Hey, there's no way to prepare for the meal service." Exactly.
Right.
So they're going crazy. You know what ends up happening? It not only frustrates the customers, it frustrates the workers. Man, Minnie and I have completely changed our pattern of behavior because of this. We know that for breakfast, it's McDonald's. For dinner, it's Jollibee. You see, we have already changed our pattern of behavior. But it would have been all Jollibee had they not be doing this, because Jollibee is only 10 steps away from our front door, and I'm basically the laziest person that you'd ever want to meet. So there. I know, Leonard. I know what you're going to say, Leonard. Dan, it sounds like you're off the wagon.
Yeah.
No, but I am, but I'm not, because I'm only doing right now one meal. Minnie and I are together. We're only doing one meal per day, which is probably not a good idea.
Actually, it is. Fasting is good no matter what you're eating. It's just better if you're eating right.
So although we're not good, I'm not getting the escape from carb thing down.
No.
We are doing the one meal.
Not with pancakes and stuff, no.
Yeah, we won't do it with pancakes and other stuff like that. Yeah.
No
biscuits and gravy. Biscuits is gravy. I don't think qualifies as low carb.
I'll even fall off the wagon for that once in a while.
But add sausage to the gravy. Make it sausage gravy.
Gotta be sausage gravy.
Yeah, that'll make it a little bit less guilt-free.
Dan, we got a Jalisa came in. It's the first time I've seen her.
How are you? Welcome. Welcome. Let me look at. I'm falling behind in my.
Oh, the avatar looks like a guy, so.
It could be. I'm just saying it's the first time I've seen that name.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hand out a few jackets so people don't get cold. And hand out a few wrenches.
Yep.
You got Rue Ray that doesn't have a jacket unless you gave her one here recently.
Okay.
Hey, Cox, how are you?
And I don't know if you want to give your friend Brian one or not. But
sure, of course. We're related. We're related. So Brian has one now for next time.
How are you doing?
And where was James? Where's James?
I don't see him, but he's in. He was in. So as far as I know, he's still in.
Alexia, how are you?
Alexia's here. But did you give Ray one?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I did. Everybody's got a wrench. I do that now because my Nightbot doesn't work.
Yeah, see, I just
check it out, guys. Check it out. Let me talk about Nightbot. I don't know how this thing works. So I go in there and I find out that it's been disabled. I got to totally set the whole thing up again. So that means I got to go in there and so I go and I try and sign in again, and it says it doesn't recognize my passwords. So now I can't get into Nightbot. So what's another program that's like Nightbot that I could use?
I don't know of any.
Yeah, I know there's one. I know there's another one.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Or is it even necessary to have Nightbot? That's the other thing.
No. Nightbot just makes it easier. Like I said, they just type in my LLL on my channel, and it drops their link. And I don't have to. Well, do they come here enough to give them a?
Well, but it also moderates for you, doesn't it? It moderates for you. So if somebody comes in, they start using bad words, then it'll automatically hide the bad words, and they'll put a person in timeout and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
I think my friends here in the chat, I think all of you as moderators, you would take care of me if something like that were to happen, wouldn't you?
No, of course.
Yeah. Do you remember a couple times we had that pervert come in, some pervert dude?
Yeah.
Started talking about
the women.
Yeah.
Kept trying to get people to go to some channel.
Oh, some porn channel or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I remember seeing that one. I didn't remember if it was on
your channel. It's been a long time, but yeah.
Somebody else's. It has been a while.
Yeah. Now, remember, Dad, I was talking about the milk cows? In Dumagetti, they have a co-op of farmers that have cows that are milk cows, and they milk them and sell the milk.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Now, I think I've told you guys about before the turquoise sunrise. The
Yes.
Philam Temple.
Yeah.
The first time I heard about it, this was back before the world went topsy turvy for a while.
Yeah.
They were living where they're living now, except for a different apartment, but they were living at the Valencia. And there was a guy that used to go around and deliver the milk, and they'd have some ice cream, like.
Oh,
And
cool.
this is before they had their son, just had the daughter. So they'd buy her some ice cream and they'd buy milk. And then they also sold it to some of the not restaurants, grocery stores. And I guess it sold out real quick, probably because of the expats.
Probably.
But
Oh,
whenever
somebody must have. Hey, somebody must have fired up, a live stream because I lost half my people.
Uh-oh.
could be.
Yeah, so somebody like Tox or Beth or somebody must have fired up. Abby, maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody fired up anyway, folks.
Almost 2
Batangas.
hours.
Batangas is where they're raising the beef. That's what I understand. Is it Batangas? Do I have that right?
Could
Does
be.
anybody know where the beef producing area of the Philippines is?
Yeah, I have
No.
not heard that.
I believe it's Batangas.
It could be.
Sounds
I
good
just
to me.
know there's some.
But-
There's some. Like I said, it's dairy cattle though. Somewhere.
But do you know those places? So what I read online when I talked to beef, if you want to find decent beef, someone said that you got to go to someone online. They were having a conversation about this. They were saying that you got to go to wherever the Brazilian meat restaurants are. You know, those all you can eat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where you go in there, you pay one price, and they serve you
Just keep bringing it to you, yeah.
cowboy style, whatever it is. They just keep bringing it to you until
Yeah.
you say stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said you go there, they import their own beef.
Now, Leonard, you said pancakes are bad for you. Now, the place I go to, and I only go maybe once a year. I
You're
haven't
talking
been
about
for a couple
those,
years, but they have
buckwheat?
buckwheat pancakes. Now, is
That's
that
probably
better?
less. That's probably less bad. I don't know just what the consistency is, but it's still flour. So
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be a grain of
still
some.
flour. Yeah,
It's going to be a grain of some sort. But
yeah, and the grains.
it's probably less bad than like a regular wheat flour pancake.
Okay, I just wonder. I
And
mean,
look, you do it once a year, that won't
yeah,
kill you. I mean that still be okay. I
I
would do
hadn't done
that.
it in a couple of years because of what's going on.
Right.
But
But
this
What
year I've
will
been there
kill you,
probably
though,
4
for
years.
sure? What will kill you, Leonard? If you were to pick the one food to stay away from, the one food, if a person had to pick one food, don't say rice.
well, rice
Yes.
is up at the top of the list, but
yeah,
probably
You got to remember,
potatoes
he's in
too.
the Philippines.
Yeah, rice and potatoes both are there. It's just that they're high starch and they've got virtually no minerals and vitamins, and it's just and all that starch turns to sugar, so their glycemic index is probably like 90 or something.
oh my goodness. So that's why they have a diabetes epidemic here.
Yep.
Now,
But wait, this didn't happen overnight, though. You see, I keep telling people that this is not the same rice that you ate when you were growing up as a kid. Do you believe that to be true?
I do because they've changed it. They've
changed
GMO. It's GMOs
Right.
and stuff.
Seth says no potatoes. Seth, by the way, you're looking mighty fine lately.
Yes, she has been. I've been seeing her on Facebook.
Yeah, I just would like to point that out. Mark is in the house. Mark.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, potatoes are less bad for you than rice.
But what about sweet potato? What about sweet potato as opposed to other?
Sweet potato.
Yeah, sweet potato is about 2% less bad than a white potato.
What about a yam?
Same difference.
Okay, because they are different. They're a little different.
They're a slightly different animal, but the end result when you eat them is the same thing. I mean, let's face it, the human body was not designed to eat plants.
Oh, time out, bro.
Okay.
Time out, bro.
It wasn't. It wasn't. That's why a cow, a goat, a sheep, all those animals have multi-gastric stomachs. They
There's a
can
big
eat that.
debate about this, you know. I
Yeah,
know the whole debate about the teeth and all this other stuff,
yeah,
the DNA, all this other stuff.
yep.
Yeah, more steak, Seth, is what he's saying. More
There you
steak,
go.
and then if you do eat vegetables, you eat the vegetables that have low glycemic level.
Right.
Name one, Leonard. Help us out here.
Well, they try to say that like spinach and kale and some of those.
This is what Sicky is known for, though. They're known for those vegetables, you know, that whole farm to fork movement where they
Right.
yeah, they're using the greens.
Right. The thing about it
Mhm.
is, though, all of them, all plants, 100% of all plants have toxins that the human body doesn't deal with very well. Some people better than others, but they have oxalates, they have lectins. Most of them have got multiple carcinogens in them. Like a Brussels sprout has 137 carcinogens in it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
who eats Brussels sprouts? A little
Yeah, that's
Brussels
true.
sprout joke there. Business B5 says green beans. How about green beans?
They're one of the less bad, but beans also have got a lot of oxalates and lectins. And
You
the
mean
problem,
that come from nature or that are man-made stuff?
no, they come from nature.
You mean they're
Plants,
already in there the way that God made them?
yes. It's just like plants don't want to be eaten. They want their seed to propagate, and so certain animals or birds are made have developed the ability to eat those seeds and pass them through and spread them around to different areas.
Uh-huh.
And that's how they propagate their species. But that's why all plants, 100% of all plants, have the toxins in them that the human body was never designed to actually digest. And
Yeah, but if you feed an animal, if you're feeding an animal garbage, then you're going to eat that garbage that the animal eats. Seth says lentils, you get more gas.
yeah, well, it's like dried beans. There's a big deal about, well, they got protein in them. Their
Yeah.
protein is not complete. It doesn't have all the amino acids. Your body can't really emulsify it properly. Now, protein from animal products, your body emulsifies it great as long as you have fat with it. And like beef is one of the most nutrient rich, easily digested and assimilated foods there is. Eggs are the
Hey,
best.
I'm not going to argue with you. I love it. I love meat. I love all kinds of meat. My beef was you can't get good stuff here. That's
Yeah.
my beef. And
Well, I
so
have to
that
agree
means
with
that
that.
unless you
I'm
want to
gonna
spend
be
a fortune for it, you want to
I'm
spend
going
a
to be
fortune
hurting when
for
I
it.
get over there.
Yeah. How come Wikipedia calls a pig a red meat and then the pork production people in the US call it a white meat?
That's marketing, I think.
The other white meat they call it,
Yeah,
right?
I remember
And
that.
what
Yeah.
about chicken? What's your idea about chicken, Leonard?
Chicken is pretty good, but chicken is one of the few, well, not few, because they're a monogastric animal. When they eat the lectins and stuff from the seeds and whatever, it goes into their flesh. A cow, it does not, because a cow has that. They got four stomachs, and they
Oh, I
burp
see what
up.
you're saying.
They burp up. Yeah, it's a multigastric, a ruminant,
Right,
multigastric stomach. They burp
right.
it up. They chew it first. It gurgles around in the first stomach and gets some of the digestion started.
No, but
Then they
Seth,
then they burp it up, and it
Seth
goes
is
through each
bringing up.
process.
Yeah, I got you, but Leonard, it makes sense to me. Leonard, what Seth is saying, eat more fish, but that's so. Seth, I have a question about that. Where do you get it? where do you get fish?
Yeah. You don't want
Where-
farm. You do not want farm raised fish.
yeah, you
Fresh
want
fish is pretty good.
I
you
want
want the
tuna.
you want the fish that comes fresh from the sea. Yeah, so
Right.
she's saying red salmon.
And you don't want the great big fish like tuna and
Why? Wait. Why?
because mercury content. Because they eat
Oh, that's right.
they're like predators and they eat
That's
all the
right.
smaller fish. The smaller fish got mercury, so it dumps it all in the big fish. And that's remember they had a big mercury scare on tuna years ago.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. And I recently learned why that was. But you can eat wild caught salmon and most of the fish that they eat in the Philippines. It's just the mackerel's even okay, even though I think it's a predator too. But it's not.
Oh, wait. Sess is given another reason to go to Sicky Horror. She's saying because they age the beef there. It's local.
Yeah. Well, that I want to go to City Horror. I want to visit there.
Wow.
She says if you have local beef,
She says it's delicious.
Get a
She's getting me
pressure cooker.
excited now.
What's that, Larry?
she also says if you got the local beef that's tough, get a pressure cooker.
Yeah,
That tenderizes almost any kind of meat.
Oh, you know what?
that's true.
That is true. That would be another way to handle that.
But the
That's
best
how
way
I-
the best way to
suggestion.
cook a steak though is either on a barbecue grill or on a cast iron skillet.
I got a cast iron stovetop grill.
That would be good.
But
That would
I'll
be
tell you
good.
what, the steak also comes out real good if you bake it with the air fryer.
Okay, so let me
I've
ask you.
heard that. I've never. I'd
Here's
never
another
had
question I have for you, Leonard. Here's another question. Is it bad to double fry chicken? What's the best way to have chicken?
As long as you don't bread it, you can fry it 14 times if you want to. Whichever cooks, it tastes better. The bread
How did you know that? By the way, how did you know that
about what?
about the chicken? Because I did not know that until I read it. I read it online the other day.
Yeah, but just 'cause I've seen so many double fried or double baked or whatever.
See,
different
they do
things.
that. They do that a lot here in the Philippines. They do it a lot. So the
Now,
stuff
what
that
you
doesn't
can
sell today, they refry it up
Fry it again for tomorrow.
for tomorrow. Yeah.
It
All
probably
right,
is okay.
folks. Talks.
One thing, Dan.
Yes.
Before we get off this,
Yes.
if you want to do a breading, you can take pork rinds and crush them up to a fine powder and use that.
Are you hearing that, Minnie? He says pork rinds. You could crush them up into a fine powder and use that as a coating or the breading
As the
mix.
flour, yeah. Because you're
So
gonna
the
mix
stale
it.
ones. See, Minnie and I. The reason why I looked at her is because we're having a problem getting fresh pork rinds. Because when I started the diet that you recommended, we were looking all over the place. You'd think that finding fresh pork rinds would not be a problem in the Philippines.
You wouldn't think
But-
so.
Yeah, but it is. Every time we went to go buy some, they were stale.
Yeah.
But now
Well,
we could take those stale ones, instead of tossing them, we can crush them up and make them into the breading for the chicken.
Yeah, and just use an egg wash and roll them in that, and then roll them in and maybe double egg wash them and double bread them with the pork.
Wow,
with
that's fantastic.
make pork panko. Yeah,
That was worth talking about. This,
I got
you know,
that. I got
I'm sorry,
that.
I
from
use
Ken
my
Berry's wife.
instant pot to make chicken stew with my chicken breast, boneless chicken breast, boneless skinless chicken breast. Instant pot.
Yeah,
I got some I'll be eating later, not tonight, but I still got a little bit left.
but see.
oh, you guys, run over to Sessa's channel and join her for her premiere. All right, guys. Now we've hit the 2-hour mark, which you know what that means. But we have yet to select a winner for this 100 pesos. So now, Larry pointed out to me he didn't say it directly like this, right? He was saying spread the wealth, which means basically that
Somebody new.
somebody new. I picked the same people sometimes more than once, and without realizing it, because I don't keep track of any of this.
Yeah.
And so, which one of you is today's winner? Which one of you has not or has yet to win the 100 pesos for a donut and coffee with Dan? This is so bad. We were just talking about diet, and now I want to go out and buy somebody a cup of coffee and a donut by sending this to your Gcash. So those that are listening in the background, who has yet to win? You have 30 seconds. Play the music, Larry. Do 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 do. Nobody's chiming in. No one's chiming in. Who has yet to win? Do you guys know of anyone in the chat who has yet to win?
I don't know. Have you given it to It's You and Me or Zindy? I'm trying to think of who else is here that's not here a lot.
Mark?
Mark?
Yeah.
Mark hasn't won yet, right?
Yeah, Mark's not won yet.
All right, Mark. You are today's winner.
I was here too late to vote on that.
What is that?
All right, everybody. So we'll do it again. When's my next live? Saturday?
No, Friday. Saturday morning for you, Friday for us here in the States.
Right. So we'll have another exciting topic. I think we had fun today, don't you guys?
Yeah.
I got to
All right, it's time to go. If you guys want to meet Man Minnie and I, we're going to be heading over to Galleria Mall. Our first stop is going to be that Denny's. I'll try to behave myself, Leonard.
Why?
Why bother?
Pull up a chair, set it aside for me, and I'll be right there.
That's it. So that's where we're headed. It'll take us about 20 minutes to get there. So
my wings have shrunk, so I can't fly over there.
Yeah, but hey, you're holding your own at 155,000.
We need to teleport.
Yeah, that's right. You're in good shape though. You're at what, 155? Is that what you were telling us?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
and might be even lighter than that.
And I have not gained or lost a pound. I'm holding steady at 200. So what are you going to do?
Win. That's a win.
Yeah.
My best weight actually was 215.
Really? I've been as high as 220. So.
Yeah. Well, I broke my ankle and I ballooned up. I got almost.
Are we talking about our biggest weight or our best weight?
No, my best weight. My biggest weight was about 240.
Oh, 240. Oh my goodness. But you're at 155 now.
Yeah.
You're all lightweights. Come on.
Yeah. But
I've cracked 300 a few times.
Yeah, it's Denny's Grand Slam time. Business BS. It's American Grand Slam time. They serve it up just like back home.
French toast.
French toast.
Oh, I love French toast.
They got it.
Why?
Larry, lead us out of this live. Lead us out of this live so Mammy and I can get on our way.
All right, everyone. Remember, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming to the live. And Leonard, thanks for your time. Larry, we'll see everybody on the next one.
All right. I'm out. Bye.
I'm out. We're gone.